On my table today is a dramatic coin showing a roaring lion facing a winding dragon, dated 1921 and ringed by the motto E pluribus unum. At first glance it looks like a rare mint issue, but in truth, it's something far more intriguing. This piece began life as a genuine United States Morgan silver dollar from 1921, but an artist has transformed it by hand into a one-of-a-kind engraved artwork. The original coin would have shown Liberty's head on the front and an eagle with outstretched wings on the back. Here, Liberty's portrait has been replaced with a powerful scene of myth and symbolism, a lion, a dragon, and the towers of a distant city. The base coin itself has an interesting backstory. The Morgan dollar was named after its designer, George T. Morgan, and was first struck in 1878. Production paused in 1904, but returned in 1921 to use up silver stockpiled under the Pittman Act. That year, the mints in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco struck millions of these silver dollars. Each was made of 90% silver and 10% copper, with a gross weight of about 26.73 grams, containing roughly 0.7734 troy ounces of pure silver. The diameter is 38.1 millimeters, about 1.5 inches, with a thickness around 2.4 millimeters and a reeded edge. These details matter because they help identify genuine coins and separate them from imitations. In 1921, because so many coins were made, most surviving pieces are common in circulated grades, which makes them perfect candidates for engraving without harming rare numismatic history. Engravers take such coins, remove the surface metal from the portrait area, and carve intricate new scenes. The process usually begins with a design drawn on paper or digitally. The engraver then uses steel gravers, rotary tools, or burins to cut into the silver. Relief is built by cutting deep where shadows should fall and leaving high points for highlights. Stippling, tiny repeated punches, is used to texture the background and give contrast. Once the carving is complete, the artist will often darken the recesses using oxidation or antiquing, making the raised areas pop in bright silver while the shadows turn dark. The choice of a lion and dragon is more than decorative. The lion has long symbolized courage, strength, and guardianship. In heraldry it often represents royalty and the defense of one's realm. The dragon, in many Eastern traditions, symbolizes wisdom, power, and a mysterious, almost magical force. In Western tales it can represent chaos or a mighty adversary. Put the two together, and you have a scene suggesting a clash between West and East, courage and cunning, or simply two great powers in balance. The castle walls and towers in the background complete the mythic setting, making the coin feel like a snapshot from a legendary battle. Because the design is carved into a genuine silver dollar, most of the coin's original specifications remain intact. The diameter will still be close to 38 millimeters, the thickness near 2.4, and the weight only slightly reduced from the original 26.73 grams. Even with some silver removed for the engraving, the piece will still contain almost all of its original silver content. This means you can still calculate its melt value. The formula is simple: take the current silver spot price per troy ounce and multiply by 0.7734. If silver were $25 an ounce, the melt value would be about $19.33. But melt value is just the starting point. Because this is an engraved fantasy piece, it has a collector premium, but that premium depends entirely on quality, uniqueness, and demand. Mass-produced or laser-etched versions might sell for $20 to $60, often not much above melt. A well-done hand engraving can bring $80 to $200. If it's the work of a known and skilled engraver, that range might climb to $200 to $600 or more. At the top end, signed pieces by master engravers can reach $1,000 or beyond. To know where your coin sits, you'd examine the depth of carving, the crispness of details like the dragon's scales and the lion's mane, and whether there are visible tool marks that prove it was hand-cut rather than etched by machine. Checking authenticity is important. A genuine Morgan dollar will have a bright, clear ring when gently tapped, while a base metal fake will sound dull. Silver is not magnetic, so a magnet test is quick and easy. The weight should be very close to 26.73 grams, with only minimal loss from the engraving. The edge reading should be sharp and consistent, not soft or uneven like on a cast copy. Finally, examine the engraved lines. Hand gravers leave clean, sharp V-shaped cuts, while laser work looks smooth and shallow, and cast copies show tiny pits and mold seams. If you want to sell such a coin, presentation matters. Photograph it under soft light, capturing both sides, the rim, and close-up shots of the most detailed areas. Be clear in your description: a 1921 Morgan dollar, modern hand-engraved fantasy design featuring lion versus dragon. If you know the engraver's name or have a certificate of authenticity, include that information, as it can significantly raise the price. Good venues include eBay, where you can list at auction with a reserve, Facebook engraver groups, coin collector forums, and local coin shows. If you're unsure of value, you can start slightly above melt and let the market decide. Once you own a piece like this, care for it as both a silver coin and a piece of art. Store it in a non-PVC capsule or a mylar flip to protect it from tarnish and fingerprints. Avoid polishing, because the darkened recesses are intentional and give the design depth. If it needs cleaning, use only a soft brush to remove dust. Chemical dips will strip away the patina and can damage the engraving. So, in summary, what you have is a 1921 Morgan silver dollar transformed into an intricate hand-engraved artwork. It combines the enduring appeal of silver coinage with the creativity of modern engraving, telling a story in metal of a lion and dragon locked in an eternal standoff. Its value depends not only on the silver it contains but on the skill of the artist, the uniqueness of the design, and the interest of collectors. Whether you keep it as a showpiece or decide to sell, you now know the history, the specs, the symbolism, and the market realities behind this fascinating coin. And that's the full story, from the silver mines of the early 20th century, through the U.S. Mint in 1921, to the hands of a modern engraver who turned a common silver dollar into a miniature masterpiece.